This episode,
we're going to talk about
what are the things that are going on in our lives.
It's kind of like maybe this might be like
Yeah, sorta, kinda.
life lesson.
Hi. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I am so stoked to be back
Me
in
too.
the studio doing this.
Me too. I'm really spacey, but I'm very stoked.
We forgot to say our names. I'm Bridget.
I'm Marshelle.
There you go. Yeah, spacey,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like we're in a similar boat, and
Yeah,
it might
very
even be
much.
for similar reasons.
Probably. I just started the Whole30 yesterday, literally yesterday, which is no sugar, no dairy, no a bunch of crap. Just
Yeah, it's like
no to everything,
like
basically.
a reset, right?
Yeah,
you do
it's
for
totally
30 days.
reset. And I'm probably going to do it for 60 days because it seems to work better for me. But I just was off the charts with oh, I'm going to have a cheeseburger. I'm going to start the Whole30. I'll be all right. Oh, I'm going to have an ice cream sandwich. Oh, I'll have another ice cream sandwich.
Kind of like you were gearing yourself up for it, and so you're like, well, I can play a little bit before I get real serious.
Exactly. But all that excess sugar. And I also feel so bloated. Like my face.
You don't look it.
Thank you.
Like,
but
seriously, you look fantastic.
well, thank you.
Yeah. But I also understand because I've done the Whole30. We've done it together.
Yeah.
I intend on doing it again, and I'm saying it now, so I can't get out
So
of
we
this.
have to hold her accountable.
'Cause
Exactly.
It's time.
Exactly.
But so I know what you mean. Like I know
You
how
just feel
good
really
you feel
like
when you do it.
But you feel so like my joints hurt, everything. My fingers are a little swollen. Everything.
Yeah.
Nothing fits right, basically. But you do get this. I have a major headache. I kind of have the chills. I really you're lucky I'm not wearing my big fluffy robe today. I just wanted to stay warm. I took my pajamas off and put in real clothes. You know, that was.
And so
that
some
was
of
big.
what these symptoms you list off, some of it is the foods you have been eating that are naughty for you, and then
yeah.
some of it is the detoxing type.
Exactly. So it's kind of because I really can't eat gluten. I really have to watch sugar. I really do get affected. I think that food is a big contributor to illness,
Oh, big time.
right?
Oh, big time.
100%.
Food is fuel, but it is also medicine. And
Yeah.
and my approach I can't say has always been, but my approach is definitely now is to try to heal try to boost my immune system as much as
Right,
possible
right.
through what I eat and through supplements. And I know not everyone believes in supplements and all that, but for me, it's something that I do, and I feel good about it for myself.
Right.
But trying to remain healthy for me is easier than trying to chase after symptoms.
Well, and I don't want to keep doing this yo-yo up and down kind of thing. And I don't want to have a diet. I just want to be healthy. I want to eat what is naturally good for me.
So here's my challenge. Because Whole30 is definitely a restrictive diet.
It is.
And they don't say diet, but they also say it's not a lifestyle thing. It's really to help people figure out what food sensitivities you have, and also what psychological
Connections you have with food.
Right, 'cause
you keep a journal. I definitely noticed.
I
ooh,
never kept a journal.
I'm-
Was I supposed to keep a journal?
I only did for
Whoops.
Suppose you can. I think there's no supposed to's, but yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
technically read the entire book.
I know you didn't. I had to just give her little excerpts because I knew she
I
wasn't going
have
to
the
read
book.
it. But I knew you weren't going to read it.
And the recipes, and I was like, well, and it's working. So, am I even see? Even to say it was working isn't Whole30, because I say it was working from the standpoint of I was losing weight,
Yeah, but
which I gained back, by the way,
You
almost
do.
all of it, not all of it, but almost all of it.
Well, that's because we didn't maintain. You're supposed to step back into eating different food groups so you can see if you're sensitive to this
Right.
or sensitive to that, or if you get a headache when you do this, or if you bloat up from that.
And let me tell you this, I figured out a lot of stuff about what I should not be eating, and the problem is I started eating some of those things again.
This is what I was going to say. You were talking about you haven't always followed this idea about food and health or whatever. I mean, I've always known that was the key, but I did not always do it. It's a defiance in me.
I say that because I've just gained more education and information as I've gotten older and done more research. So.
I think, I always thought I was eating what was quote unquote, except when I was a teenager and eating Velveeta cheese, but I mean, because who cares when you're a kid?
Also, I'm going to have to call you out on this. You're one of the pickiest eaters I've ever met.
I am.
I had no, it shocks me every time when you're like, no. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a thing.
It's a texture thing a lot of the time.
You're so picky.
I am, but I'm
I
also
feel like-
really super sensitive, and I'm allergic to a lot of stuff. So
Which I realize too. tell the masses what you're allergic to, because you never know.
Somebody evil out there.
This is how
Try
my
to
brain works,
poison
people.
me.
No, but that's where my brain goes.
Sure.
How sad is that?
Well, the world's going to hell in a handbasket, but that's okay. You know,
Oh man,
that's a whole other topic.
We've already dropped so many things.
Haven't we,
into
though?
this combo?
Haven't we? We kind of intended to talk about this a little bit.
Wait. Hold up your mug.
Oh,
Cheers, by the way. I wonder.
I can't reach. I can't reach.
I don't know
I'm very
why.
stuck.
I don't know why I initiated the cheers, but
mine's not today, Satan. Not today.
and mine's just vodka. I'm kidding. It's coffee. Of course, it's coffee.
I used to put vodka in coffee. I'm not gonna lie.
I've tried it. I've tried it per your suggestion.
Yeah,
Actually,
I was writing a lot at the time, and sometimes it helps, but not really. You don't need it.
Since we love to start out episodes talking about past habits of drinking and etc.
Etc.
I went 2 years without drinking alcohol at all, and you know who got me back? Is it back off the wagon or on the wagon?
Back off the wagon.
Back
I
off the
guess.
wagon would be this woman right
I know
here
me.
with vodka.
I know.
We used to have what we'd call Bridget and Marshelle nights.
Bridget Marshelle nights.
And
We would sit in the kitchen almost entirely.
Yeah, sometimes the living
Sometimes
room. We would drink copious amounts of vodka, and we'd talk about the crazy shit that we're going to start sprinkling in. Because you guys, we can't just throw it all at you all at once. You need to learn to know us as these grounded women,
Because we are.
that have critical thinking skills.
Yes.
That just happen to have had some really crazy experiences that we've had to incorporate into our
And that we
reality.
realized we're actually real. We're all a lot of people experience stuff like that.
I thought you said that we are actually real. And I was wait,
No,
I always knew I was real.
No.
That the experiences
The
were actually real.
experiences were real.
I'm sorry. I'm not.
I know. Sometimes.
I'm not.
I know.
Okay.
I'm a little delayed. I'm delayed.
Right?
And I'm going to tell you this right now.
Which thinks this is fun.
Who knows what's going to
We're
happen?
a little woo.
I know.
So,
but to go back to the woo,
Mm-hmm.
that's why we're going
The
to
other woo.
sprinkle this stuff in because I don't want to get locked up
So there you go. There's our strategy.
in
Now you
an
know.
asylum. Yeah.
Now you
So
know.
because I'm telling you, that shit's real.
Because should we say what we used to do when we're drinking the vodka?
Tarot cards.
Yep.
Is that what you were getting at?
Yeah. I didn't know if we were ready to.
Well, why not? What the hell? Fuck it. Fuck
Okay,
it.
we're doing it.
So
So
today, Satan.
I can't tell you the last time I've looked at a deck of tarot cards.
we're gonna talk about it now. Okay.
I just wanted to
Everybody's
say a little bit. But during that time, you and I would look at tarot
Yeah.
and
play with it just to see.
but you okay.
I know where you're going with this.
Well, I just want to I don't know the best word to describe you because I think you're beyond amazing as a person.
Thank you.
But there's a particular aspect of you that is very unique. And I'm just going to say you're intuitive.
I am
But
very
it's
intuitive.
so much more than that.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm going to agree with you.
yeah.
I'm not in a disconceited, but I'm like, yeah. It's different.
There's
It's
a lot.
different. Mm-hmm.
I honestly, it's the same for me, but I'm speaking about this one right now in regard to this tarot card experience.
Yeah.
You were able to look at symbology on these cards because if you think about like the imagery in a dream, for example, to me that's the same kind of landscape that a tarot deck is speaking to, is like the subconscious or what's
There's a
happening?
Gnat. There's a gnat.
Get it.
Sorry.
Get it. Get it, kitty. There's a cat. There's a cat right here.
And
This
we'll
is
see
like-
how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see how long the plants last this time. Anyway, it was always just so crazy cool to me. Like, so my real introduction to tarot cards was Marshelle, and
I'm scary good at tarot cards.
Yeah.
I'm incredibly accurate. Like, it's crazy.
But what I wanted to, all I really wanted to say is we don't even need them anymore,
no, we don't.
and that's what's so crazy.
That was like
They're cool, and I have appreciation, but
well, there's a. I'm trying to figure out how to say this.
I
well, you know where I'm going. Okay, I'm just gonna say.
well,
How much baby stepping are we gonna do? Well, those things are a portal. Now you can do those things all
how much
you want.
baby? Never mind. We're
Never-
going.
We're just
there.
gonna go there. So much for the baby step.
Okay.
They're a portal. They really are. And
Can you explain what you mean a little
it's
bit?
like a doorway or a window for other things, shall we say,
maybe non-physical things.
Non-physical things, because it's just a different dimension, I think. It's all, but what do you allow yourself to see? Some things can be seen, some things can't. It's, it can even be lumped into intuition. All of this stuff comes from the same world, from the same theory. Some of us are just more open to it. Mm-hmm. But it's just what you have to, it's what do you allow in? You know, and I think tarot cards are
You mean
great.
like when you're reading you're reading in general in life, but when you're reading the card, what your intention is.
Yeah, what your intention is. But I think certain people, maybe they're just more, I don't want to say the word powerful, but I don't know, or they're just more open and more clear. So you're kind of like a light, like a moth to a flame. Or no, a flame. Yeah, like a moth to a flame. Like, so you would be like a light to a bug, let's say. Like they're drawn to it.
Okay, some people will relate to the idea of like a narcissist to an empath. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's kind of like there's a real world parallel that some people will associate with that.
Yeah. So because let's say you're shiny, you're a brighter subject in some ways.
How would we say this? Like some people are just very, like they burn brighter. Yeah,
I got it. In Poltergeist. All right. This is what we'll go with. I'm raising my hand.
By the way, you guys asked for this.
Yeah, you did.
The consistent feedback is more supernatural shit.
More supernatural shit.
We're going against we're being brave. We're going against it's uncomfortable.
Yes. But thanks for all the positive words too, by the way. Side note to that.
Back to Poltergeist.
But back to Poltergeist. Okay. Thank you. I will derail. Thank you for bringing me back.
This is just showing them how much we share a brain.
Yeah, like, we do. She can keep up with me. I don't know how. But because I'm like A
telepathy
to B, probably.
Does she mean that? Is she kidding? I'm not. I mean it.
We're very in sync. I'll say that. Poltergeist. Go back to the movie Poltergeist. When the little lady is saying to Carol Ann, or talking about Carol Ann to the parents, how Carol Ann's in the others. What?
I've never seen it.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
Okay, well, I can't give you the whole... okay.
I don't need the whole thing. Tell the people that know.
That's what I'm trying to explain.
Yeah.
What she's saying to her is that they're all stuck in this other place, this other realm, and they're lost. So Carol Ann, because she's this bright light, she's sort of a living entity in that world.
Mm. That
dimension. They're drawn to her because she got taken into this dimension by ghosts, let's say.
Okay.
And ghosts, guys, is just as I said earlier before, is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more to ghosts and other supernatural, otherworldly things. But
finish this Poltergeist thing because I feel like we're going to go off on a ghost tangent.
Yeah,
later.
I think so. But it's basically I think that's what it is. That's an analogy for tarot cards in a way. Mm-hmm. You're a bright light to the other things that are looking, and some things are good and some things are bad. Mm-hmm. And you can tell it to go away. It's also like I think the negative world, shall we say, there's dark and light. I'm just obviously we're just saying it. So I think it wants to make you fearful, and anything that comes from a place of fear isn't God, isn't love, isn't spirit, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same thing. Yes.
I just wanted to add, but not everyone looking at tarot cards is light and bright.
No,
there's also the other side of.
I've met other sides of that.
Yeah.
I've met people that, and so that's why I guess some people say that are very into the Bible and whatever, they say you shouldn't do that because you don't really know what you're messing with.
You know what I feel that very strongly about? I'm very not interested in being near a Ouija board.
Okay, I did that, and I always thought I should never do it, and you really shouldn't. No, but you guys will say, no, it's okay, as long as, that's okay. You want to do it, you go ahead, but I'm not going to ever do that again. And you do have to tell things to leave. You do have to close the...
You know what's interesting?
That's a portal.
Nobody's ever shared with me a positive Ouija board story.
Mm-hmm.
I've only heard really unsavory ones, and they're all like pretty extremely bad.
Yeah.
So maybe if you guys have any, please let us know. And maybe I'll like revisit this and collect some of those stories and like we can talk about them. But
that was just my personal experience. Yeah. Like we made our Ouija board, my sister and I.
Didn't you have to like destroy it?
We had to like go bury it in the ground, and we had to go talk to these people. They were like, well, I can't believe you guys fucking did. We wouldn't do that. You know, like these people were like, you know, what they would call themselves witches, I guess, because we went to this store where they have all these books and all this. Like it was actually because we just needed some help because some bad shit started happening. And I am I'm very skeptical myself.
Yeah.
But when I've actually experienced it and I can't scientifically explain it, I believe it.
Especially when it happens more than once.
That's where I was getting at. Like,
Yeah.
it's similar to a scientific, when you have all this empirical evidence, if it keeps happening, then there must be a grain of truth to that.
There's something I didn't say in the last episode, but I knew I would get a chance to.
What?
But when it comes to these like synchronistic events or repeat numbers or any of those things, I always pay attention and collect all of this information, but I hold my conclusions really lightly. And I did that for years and years and years and years, where it's like, okay, I'm not going to decide what this means,
Right.
but I am going to take note and see if it feels significant. And the thing is, it's like, oh, it feels significant.
Yeah.
I still hold lightly to what I think it all means, but I'm definitely of opinions now.
That's what's changed for me. I don't question it anymore. If I really know something. I mean,
Yeah.
you feel it in your bones. That gut instinct. That's what we were talking about before. And that's how I operate now. Before, maybe, like I said, I would look to find written evidence of other people who've experienced this,
Yeah.
Or like the threes, they say
I
ask
did
for
that.
validation.
Sure.
But now I don't. But if you're just starting out, or maybe you're confused, or that's what I'm saying. You don't have to believe in it, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist just because you're not experiencing it.
Do you remember if there was anything? Were there any tarot readings that we did where we could say, like, without a doubt, okay, this came true? Or,
I think my understanding of it is,
or just intuitive things that we got,
they were very intuitive things at times.
whether with or without the cards. I'm trying to think of, because there's been honestly so many things.
Understanding who people are or what their intentions were towards you, and what it is really, it's a path you're going down at that time in life.
Oh, you're describing tarot, like an approach to it.
An approach to it. Now, if different choices are made, then of course it's going to branch off into something else. And sometimes you could see the choices. Sometimes you could see, when we were doing it, no, this is what's, and sometimes these things would happen, or you would really get a sense of what their intention is towards you, or I don't know. It was just really interesting.
Here's what I want to say. Take the tarot cards out of that equation. Everything you've just described is something that you and I can do with people, strangers or not.
Absolutely.
Without any assistance.
We're both very intuitive. It's deeper than that, but that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, because I'm not comfortable with the word psychic for myself.
Yeah, me either.
But I meet people. I work with a woman, and she's like, "You blow my mind all the time with things."
Yeah.
And there's two people, coworkers I'm thinking of, where they're like, "How did you?" I was just thinking that. How did you know that? And I was like, it's just, to me, it's really normal now.
Yeah, exactly.
But they'll be like, "You're psychic." I'm like,
yeah,
you're not wrong.
Well, yeah, but that's just like an element of it.
Yeah,
I remember saying that to you. I'm like, it's so much more than that.
Yeah.
When you're just experiencing, because I do hear things, I admit that. I see things. I always have, ever since I was a little girl. So I never
for me,
questioned
it's
it.
been more feeling, and sometimes it'll be actual
Like
physical
something-
sensations,
like something's touching her. Or grabbing her
it'll
or
feel
whatever.
like an actual squeeze on my arm. Do you know how crazy that sounds the first time you say it out loud?
It does, but I think people are accepting it more.
Yeah.
But also, I don't think we come across as crazy. We're pretty grounded, realistic people. I'm from the fucking Midwest. You know what I mean? And but as I said, if it keeps happening, or if I just know it, I finally just had to give in to myself to be like, okay, this is that's what I meant the last episode. This is my reality.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid of it anymore. And I'm trusting that
Yeah.
more than what someone is saying to my face.
Right. So
You
I
know?
think what a lot of people would do if they start to think, they're hearing, they're like, I'm hearing
Voices.
stuff, or
Yeah.
I feel like something's grabbing me. They're
Or
going to
you
go to the
know
doctor.
something.
They're going to go to the doctor or a psychiatrist and be like, do I have a problem with my nerves because I'm getting these physical sensations?
True.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I
we
had
look-
thought of that. Yeah.
most of the time these days, it seems like people seek answers so that they can figure out what's wrong with them and then fix it to make it go away.
or they'll be diagnosed, depending on what it is. If you say
Right.
you hear voices, I don't hear voices like that.
It's not. Yeah.
No,
it
but then
can't
now
be
there is
possibly
schizophrenia.
confused with-
There is. I mean, but what I'm experiencing isn't anything like that. I have
Right.
had friends that were bipolar, let's say, or whatever, but they still sensed things and they weren't off.
Also, when you're having these senses happen consistently in line with stuff happening in real events in real time, you start to realize there's like a consistency with these things happen when these types of things happen in real life. And
Right.
it's hard for me to think of examples because it's like such
It's
a common thing. It's like,
Right.
can you describe to somebody every time you use your sense of smell? No, it's constant.
That's a good analogy.
Right? Well, but that because it's senses.
Right. Yes. Okay,
know what
I
I
get
mean?
it. Very good.
Sense of smell and audio, like some sounds are really loud, some sounds are really quiet. We can all relate to that. Some sounds are annoying, some are really soothing.
You know what? Okay.
Same with smells.
Yeah, I this just reminds me of this. I was listening to Sibling Revelry with Kate Hudson, Oliver Hudson. I like their podcast.
God, they're great.
And they had the medical medium on. And you and I were just discussing this.
Yeah.
Now, they got a lot of negative reviews about this guy. I liked what he had to say. But now on the other side of that, I do get why people would have a problem with him a little bit because he talks about, what did he call it? The spirit of compassion.
Yeah.
And, even myself, I'm like, ooh, that kind of gets
Let me give just a tiny bit of context. When he was about 4 years old, he said he started to hear a voice plain as day as if it was in the same room with him.
like if we were talking to each other.
And a male voice that he's identified as the
An
spirit
older.
of compassion is what he calls this being. And this being is constantly giving him information about the people he meets and like
it's a steady
from like a
stream.
medical standpoint, like they have a brain aneurysm or they're like, this is what's going on in their body or they're pre-diabetic, stuff like that. This guy.
And he would always be right.
Right.
He wasn't right. What he heard was right.
Right.
That's how he would
from
differentiate
the time he was
that.
a little kid. So this guy is sharing about these
Yeah, and
experiences.
some people, but I get it, they're from the medical industry. They're like, oh my God, this is so dangerous. You can't. But what he's really getting at is that it's not just a medical explanation. It's that we are a physical, spiritual, mental being having a physical existence.
This guy is an anti-doctors. He's like, if you
No.
need a surgery, go get a
Go
surgery.
get a surgery.
But there's lots of things. He was pointing out a lot of stuff. Immune. Help me out here.
Autoimmune disease.
He's saying these
Now
aren't
it's become overdiagnosed.
and that it's a lot of it
Is
isn't
diet?
medical.
No,
in the way that we're thinking of it. That it's the eating the wrong foods for the viruses that live in our bodies that are like feeding off of these particular foods.
Right. And it was really interesting.
It was very interesting.
But it was also interesting to hear. And then Kate Hudson talked about how she hears things. She's
Yeah.
always
She
heard.
didn't say much.
No, she
But
she
she
doesn't like to
said
talk
enough that I was like, girl, I relate. Because
Yeah.
she doesn't like to talk about it.
Which, same here.
I mean, it's uncomfortable.
It's very
I know I keep
uncomfortable.
saying that, but this is really...
And also, we don't really know how to put it to words sometimes because it's just such a way of how our life is.
Well, and you and I have a shorthand when we talk
do.
about it because we talk about it all the time.
And we also kind of know what the other, somehow we just seem to know what the other is getting at.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, but it's cool. So I believe that is, and I think more people are like that than maybe what they realize, or maybe they've just
Like
tried
that, meaning the intuitive part? Yeah.
or more susceptible to seeing the world, seeing other or feeling other things.
Before I saw the world as I do now, the way that I interpreted what was happening to me was I had social anxiety.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I hate being by myself because when I go out into the world to like the grocery store or public places, I am so overwhelmed with anxiety and I would get so overstimulated by my environment and I was feeling so much stuff, but I didn't realize that it's because I was like a sponge for all of the information and the energy
and the information.
that was coming in. My body was getting like overwhelmed. And so I was like, it doesn't really make sense because I'm very extroverted, I'm confident, and I'm comfortable in my own skin. And yet it's anxiety in social situations. Like, I don't know. I didn't know what else to call it. And then as I learned more and more and accepted more and more that there's this whole other way of living life with these experiences, and like I reframed everything, and then I was like, okay, it makes sense if I think of myself as a sensitive person to the energy around me, that I'm actually reading these people and getting way more information than's being stated to me, but like I'm literally picking it up with my body.
Exactly.
My body's getting overwhelmed.
The same. I was always like that.
And until I accepted that was happening, I couldn't diminish that experience. And then once I basically learned new skills, and now I'm fine.
That's what really, that's kind of what we went through a little bit, was this realization of that and an acknowledgement of it.
Just talking about it gave me some anxiety.
Exactly. So what I was going to say was, we sort of just decided to just jump in and go to the other side of that and embrace it, because this is...
I didn't have a choice.
No, I really didn't have a choice.
Didn't have a choice.
I just realized it's always been there. I've always been like that. And what changed, what changed was me ignoring it. Me acting like that wasn't real. But I mean...
I couldn't ignore it anymore.
Yeah.
Because I
think that's what happened.
Boom. There was like I used to describe it as feeling like there were two worlds and I had a foot in each reality.
Yeah, I remember you saying this.
And I like couldn't be in both.
You can't be in both.
Trying to be in both.
Separating the world.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's kind of what people are referring to when they talk about rose-colored glasses. I lived with rose-colored glasses for a little while. And it was uncomfortable in a bad way. Like there's good discomfort where you're like maybe pushing through a fear, and you're like expounding your boundaries, and you're learning new things.
Sitting in the discomfort.
This was like the opposite of that. This was like, I'm clinging to what I know because that's what I know, and it's scary to look beyond that.
And there's control in that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind that that's been a theme in my life. I mean, anybody who's had an anxiety, or I was going to say an eating disorder, has to examine their relationship with control. So anyway.
Yeah.
That's another topic.
There's a lot of topics. The taking on other people's energy, that is definitely there's people that you'll be around and you feel so good around them. Now, on the other side of that, there's other people that you'll be around and you just feel so down or angry, or you get, anxiety or
you said
fatigue.
Already, but fatigue. Yeah. I had a roommate once.
Is that the one I met?
I realized I would have to take naps constantly when she was around.
I remember you.
It took me a minute to figure out that it was associated with her. But back at this time, I didn't know how to. This is back when I still couldn't go to the grocery store by myself.
Yeah, that surprises me. I get it though. But
it surprised me too. There was like a cognitive dissonance. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Me knowing me to be this extroverted, confident, which I'm actually more of a balance between the two of extrovert and
I'm trying to figure out I've never been able to figure out what I am with that.
I think you and I are very similar in that. It's like a balance between the two.
It wasn't that I just would stay home more, and I would I can be reclusive. I'm very reclusive. Like delivery is, ever since groceries have started to be delivered, it's dangerous. I could stay home and never leave like that. I'm that bad, But there's the other side of me that is gregarious and likes to be outside and is social and
yeah.
We used to go out drinking and stuff like that. I was. And
but remember back when we used to go out drinking back in the day, I couldn't stand having my back facing the room. I would get so overwhelmed by the energy of the people in the room. It was like it was receiving too much information. It was so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally what I started to do was, not only did I carry an amulet with me, which I don't need to say what it was because it could be anything that's significant to you. But I started to work with imagery a lot and imagine a protective barrier around me.
I do that.
And I would pull in my aura is what I would imagine. It's it always, I guess, would kind of fill the room. And so imagine filling the room with your energy. How are you not touching
They're gonna
everything
keep
that's in
getting
the room?
Yeah, so you have to protect
So then I would
yourself.
like pull it in. Well, and not even just because I'm unprotected, but also because it's like, no wonder I'm receiving so much information. I'm literally like taking in the entire room.
It totally does make sense.
And so I would consciously pull it in tighter and tighter and tighter. And then I got, it's like a focus exercise, but it would work.
Now for naysayers, that might
Hi.
be. Yeah. Hey. Now we are energetic beings. You can look at it scientifically. There's like, we have, what would you say? We have
It's hard for me to put it into
We
the
have
scientific terms for
stuff
people.
around us. Okay. Like
We're
you know,
physical.
yeah.
We're energetic.
And
we're
energy can neither be
emotional,
destroyed nor
mental.
created. It can just be channeled. So the energy, you have a field, and that's the word I was looking for, brain. Like there's a magnetic field perhaps, or I don't know what it is right now. Guys, I'm sick, so my brain's not
I mean, do
finding
we
the
even
right-
have to explain it?
No, maybe we don't. You guys can go look it up yourself.
Because I don't. Did you ever have to explain it to yourself for you to believe in it? Because for
No,
me, it was
not at all.
experiences, right?
Yeah, totally.
So
I just knew it.
You're just gonna have to take our word for it that these are experiences.
And maybe you'll experience it yourself. You know,
And
if you
probably
put it
already
out
are.
there, you know, I want to know what they're talking about. Let's say, or if some of this just rings true to you just a little, then kind of shift your perception a little bit and shift your energy.
It's
a little
hard
bit.
for me to get a sense of how bizarre this sounds to people.
Yeah, because it
It's-
probably does.
I don't know, because to some people maybe they're like, "Oh, thank God, they're speaking my language," but some people might be like, "What the fuck?
Yeah.
Are these crazy bitches talking about?" Like, I don't know. I don't know you.
Yeah.
I don't know how you found us.
But hi.
Hi. But
Same time.
of course. Of course. Anyway, hi.
Hi.
Naysayers. We're not scientists.
No.
So I don't feel like I have room to try to explain to you in scientific terms how to make sense of all this.
And I don't even know all the terminology that I guess, I don't know what you would call it, new age people, but I don't even really believe in all that either. I think it's actually the old way, to be honest. You know, I think it's an ancient way. It's almost like some kind of universal law of how the world is. And some people are just open to that. They're very in tune with it. I think that's kind of what that guy is talking about.
The medium.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on? Okay, do you think that everybody has the same access to information, or do you think everybody, is it a matter of just being more or less open? Or, I mean, because I feel like in the same way that some people have physical 20/20 vision and other people have poor vision, or some people are
No,
super
that's what I
taster,
believe. That's what
or
I
some
believe.
people have a really
I
good
don't-
sense of smell. I want to finish these analogies. And some people have really good hearing. Some people must have these sixth senses that are stronger than others, I would think.
I think so.
It just to me stands to reason.
I think it's choice.
Which
too.
part though?
What do you allow yourself to see? God, that goes so. There's so much to say to that, because I always have this thing of like, what voice do you
Dig
allow?
into that.
Yeah, what voice do you allow yourself to listen to? And I think there's a lot of truth to that. You know, that old wives' tale, or that old in the cartoons, they had the angel on your shoulder and the devil on your shoulder. And you know what? I do believe in angels and demons and all of that, but in other religions, they're called other things. So because I grew up Catholic, I refer to it as angels and demons and whatever. And I believe in ghosts, and I believe in other things in this world
That aren't seen, that are
aren't
non-physical.
seen, that are
Yeah.
non-physical. But I mean, I don't know. Are they less physical than? I mean, it's just a different dimension, perhaps, or a different reality. There's different. I think there's gateways. There's portals.
I feel
to
like for the sake of the
argument.
naysayers,
okay. Yeah,
it
this might get cut.
is different in terms of how we think of physical
Yeah, okay. I'll go
in
with
this
that.
dimension.
I'll believe it that.
But
I'll believe that.
there's definitely thoughts, experiments we could go into about.
But
you
maybe
know.
we won't do right now.
But I don't think we want to go there right now.
No, it's really hard. It's hard to. because again, this isn't quite what we meant to talk about.
Because I feel like we have the burden. There feels like a burden of proof that we have to prove to you. And I'm honestly not interested in doing that.
I'm not interested in doing that. And I'm not going to do that. And I think some people are more inclined to want to know about that, or they've had their own experiences, or they're curious about it. So that's our people.
Yeah.
And then you can chime in, you can Google, you can Alexa.
I'm trying to think of a specific supernatural like experience that.
Well, that's why we say it's the way of looking at life. I just always was like that. And you were too. Always as a child felt things, saw things, believed that the world, and I felt very close to.
And people want to hear the stories of it.
Yeah.
And it's hard. And what we're saying is it's kind of hard
to know where to start.
It's like, how do you describe a color to somebody that's colorblind? Not to say you guys are, because I think there's definitely people that have already gravitated to us who are totally on the same page with us. But it's that burden of proof thing again. It's like, how do you put it into words? What's something that's significant to me that you may not give a shit about it. An experience that changed my life may not have that same emotional impact on you.
It can't.
Right.
It can't, because that was your personal experience and you felt it.
Right.
We can describe it all you want, but there really aren't words for that. I mean, I've lived in a haunted, this place was haunted.
Yeah.
Like scary, but it was more than ghosts. It felt very ominous, very dark. And that's a whole other episode at some point. It felt evil. Yeah. And you know what? The Viper room's like that. Side note of that. Upstairs, it feels ghostly and not so bad. You go, and they've talked about this before. You go downstairs and there's like a pressure change. There's an ominous feeling downstairs, more of an evil sort of feel,
Yeah. Like, I'm aware of it when I'm there, but it doesn't
scare me.
No, it definitely doesn't scare me. And I don't feel like it really phases me, but at all, really. But I think there's been at other times in my life, other places I've been in the past when I was way more sensitive or open or vulnerable.
You were still discovering. You were discovering all of this.
But I was I was more of a vulnerable person at the time.
Oh, I see.
And so I would have been more impacted by environments like that. Like, it would have gotten under my skin to be in an environment that felt dark. Whereas now it just doesn't. It's kind of like when you're in a room with a bad smell, you're like, oh, that smells.
Yeah. I want to say something because it keeps popping back in my head to finish because we talked about tarot cards, we talked about Ouija boards, to finish on that just a little, but we can talk
only
about
40 minutes in. We're only.
Oh, but yeah, we could wrap this up. If you want to do that, then fine. I don't want to offend anybody, but I do know.
Oh yeah, we're not against.
But wait, I do know that Ouija boards are not a game.
Yeah,
and they've made those into a game to where they're out in Target. Yeah. And children can play with that. That to me is a little dangerous. Yeah. Because you don't know what you're doing and you're giving it to children, and they're gateways for other. I just keep saying things because I don't know how to put it, because I don't really, other beings, I don't know what they are. But if that's what you want to do, then okay, but just take the precautions.
It's not that you don't know what they are. You don't know how to.
I do know exactly what they are, but I don't know how to phrase it.
And we don't know how to make everything palatable.
Yeah, that's.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Oof. But it's not a game. That's so key.
That
really
is
hit me
key.
When you said that.
It's not a game. And I think there is a responsibility in saying that. And also tarot cards, those are great. Those are cool. I actually love those. But at the same time, I myself know I cannot mess with them anymore.
I have a pendulum.
Mm-hmm. Oh, got that.
And I haven't touched it in a really long time.
Me either.
Because the time that I did, I was just... Yeah, a pendulum is like mine is an amethyst. It's at the end of like a chain, and you let it, like, basically the motion of it, like, I think I had it over a piece of paper with yes or no or something, and it'll change motion depending on like the question you ask or something. Well, as I was asking a question, an item flew off my wall in the living room.
I remember this. You told me about this.
Didn't just drop. It flew off the wall.
And it shouldn't have. There was no logical explanation.
The thing had been there for years.
It was attached to a mirror up on her wall.
Hanging. It was a necklace hanging over a mirror. Mm-hmm. It had been there for years, and it flew off the wall.
I remember that.
And I was like, I'm done with this. I'm okay. Thank you very much. Not interested. There's one little one for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's one little experience.
There's so much I'm thinking of.
There's so many things. I used to really. I'm not going to go into it.
No, we're going to stop because I think.
But the little rebel in me when she said we're going to stop made me want to be like, no. I can talk if I want, Marshelle. Okay. Well, okay. Here's the deal. Mm-hmm. Listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Deezer, Stitcher. There's Google Play. We're everywhere. That part's easy. You want to find us, you'll find us. We're everywhere. If you want to watch us, we're on YouTube. Mm-hmm. If you're on YouTube as a channel or whatever, subscribe to us so we can get that vanity URL. That would be great. We seem to be the most interactive on Instagram,
which I love.
It's awesome. Mm-hmm. And honestly, we're probably going to start posting more and more clips up there because IGTV is really handy for that. Yeah. We're just limited on time. You can't do anything more than 15 minutes. So yeah, we'll play with that. We'll play with little excerpts. Mm-hmm. What else? What do you want to say?
That's it.
Oh, yeahsortakinda@gmail.com. If you want advice, why is nobody taking us up on that? I mean, come on, guys.
They did before we started this. And now
Yes,
silence.
we did. Yes, we did.
Crickets are playing.
I've had one friend. Oh, should I say the thing I told you about the friend?
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. I think so, because this was really annoying to me.
So you have friends and you're like, that like are really excited, and then you put out the podcast and you're like, you were really excited. Have you had a chance to listen? Mm-hmm. And so my friend's response like, no, I haven't had a chance to listen yet, but I was wondering, I want to start a podcast, so I'd love to get some advice on what to do. And I was just like, okay, steal my thunder. Like, hello.
Hashtag steal my thunder.
Wait, do you know how? I'm like, I know we don't need to make it all about me, but
just for a second,
I am just asking.
Just for a second, could it be about me?
Maybe before you ask me to help you on your podcast, you could just at least listen to mine.
I know, just one,
and maybe just give me. I'm not even asking you to give me like glowing feedback. Just be like,
did you listen?
Did you listen? Just take the time. Anyway, I know you're listening to this, friend, and I love you.
That's what you get.
But what I will say about this friend, if I didn't call them out on it, but if I had, they would have taken it. Mm-hmm. If I would have been like,
I know, that's why I'm like, that's what you get.
This is what I said, this is what you said, and this is how it felt. They would have been like, oh shit, you're right. I'm like, I know. Anyway.
Oh, well.
So if you want advice.
Oh my God. I don't even know what we're going to be like.
The end.